Welcome to Comfy Habit number 2. I know the last video was supposed to be my last video, but then I made a promise at the last video that I was going to make one more video about this Aboriginal stuff and the slave trade and all this other shit. Now, this Aboriginal stuff came up with some dude named Dan Calloway, Holiday. Somebody's gay. I don't know what the fuck his name is. I don't give a shit. Anyway, all of a sudden, fuck ton of people on TikTok who are black are now saying they are Aboriginal. And Aboriginal is a term that the Australians use, not the Native Americans. So I've been going through all this shit for the better part of almost 18 months. Maybe it's 8 months. It doesn't matter. What matters is they're doing the fuck of indigenous erasure. And they didn't start doing this shit until Lance got off of TikTok. Shout out to Lance, the modern warrior. He still has my respect, regardless. But we've all stumbled a little bit. Checking for ants. So, let's talk serious shit now. For you Aboriginals that say the Atlantic slave trade didn't work properly or didn't happen or worked in reverse. Have y'all done the math on how many square feet Africa is compared to America? And I'm not talking about South America or Canada, just America itself. Because granted, South America had slaves. Probably not as many as America. But the math don't add up. So y'all saying that y'all were always here. But if that's the case, how come Africa has 3 times more people who are black, or in their case African, than America does? Because life did not start here. You weren't always here. This has been an ongoing debate quite some time on TikTok, y'all, and it's a pain in the ass, and I hate having to make this video, and I'm watching the debate right now on that same shit. The volume's just down, because Brother X and the Adjustment Syndicate are pushing motherfuckers' caps in, and y'all can go find them on YouTube. Go look for Port City something vibes, I forgot what the fuck it was, but just type in Port City and he'll show up. It's a black man with some sunshades on. And if you can't find the right one, push them all. Ugh. So, let's talk about the transatlantic slave trade working in reverse. If they took all the Native Americans, who are the Aboriginals, who are black like me, but not mixed, just black, from America to Africa, are they clones? How are we outnumbered by Africans if the slave trade worked in reverse? There ain't that much fucking in the world back then to produce babies of such a great diaspora that just everybody get pregnant, everybody spread out all over Africa. Tell me how that shit works. Where there's thousands of records on slave ships coming from there to America, but they don't believe in the slave ships. They debunked that, so they say. Or at least they always saying that, specifically M and BFR. I don't know them personally. I don't have no personal beef with them, other than the fact that they're shooting out lies out their mouth. And I send warnings, not invitations. And I'm sure if you track my whatchamajig, the IP address, it'll probably lead you to my internet phone bill, which will probably lead you to my house. If you show up at my house, as I said before, I send warnings, not invitations. I won't be held responsible for you, and you will not be going home the way you came here. Just want to put that out there. It's not a threat. It's a bona fide promise that I'm going to show you how a native fucking fights. I have an axe. 2 of them. One big, one small, but it'll cut blood and it'll bust them all. Anyway, You can't have it both ways. You can't be natives or aboriginals, and you can't be gods. You're one or the other. And if you're mixed like me, okay, I can accept that because I've been through a whole lot of shit as a mixed person. So I'm willing to accept the fact that you're mixed. But you need to also accept the fact that if you are mixed, you need to not deny your black heritage. I don't deny my black heritage. I don't deny my white heritage. I don't deny my heritages at all. Unless somebody of those three heritages do something incredibly stupid, and then I deny it on that day. However, these people are problematic. The slave trade did not work in reverse. And regardless of what you may think, if it did work in reverse, there wouldn't be as many black people in America as they are because we would have been wiped the fuck out. And also, how did you lose to the natives from Siberia? If you were here for so long, you would think that you would have the capability of being able to defend yourselves. Because I can tell you how the Native Americans lost. How they got treaties. I can tell you that. Because smallpox was a thing. Natives never had to deal with that shit. They got sick, but they didn't get that fucking sick. This fucking chemical warfare that the colonizers brought in, that's how they won against the Native Americans. And they had to start curing the Native Americans because of the genocide that's still going on today. But they were winning through disease. But after they got through getting through the 5 civilized tribes, when they came into Comanche territory, Apache territory, Kiowa territory, and Lakota territory, they found out they fucked up. Which is why they had to get Sacagawea to get them through there nice and peacefully. But I'm sure you black Afrocentrics don't remember any of that shit, right? You remember the Trail of Tears because everybody was affected by the Trail of Tears from the East Coast to the mid-region where it stopped when the Cherokee were all put in Oklahoma, except for some of the Cherokees that managed to stay in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. Same thing with the northern natives like the Seneca, the Manhattan Indians, and all the other shit. And the Ojibwa and some others became First Nation members, but the Ojibwa still had American roots too. Because, before borders, all of this was native land. And by native, the natives that they are saying from Siberia. Not the natives who were darker than me saying that you guys are from Siberia and we're the aboriginals. Aboriginal on my boot, let me go native. Aboriginal on my moccasin, up your rectum. How did y'all lose twice? So y'all lost to my ancestors that are from Siberia, as you say. And then you turned around and lost to white men and became slaves? You want to tell me how that works? How did y'all lose twice? Were y'all that much pussies that y'all just couldn't fight back? I mean, you're saying that my ancestors from Siberia wiped y'all out. Hey, it's how I exist, huh? But then you turn around, and not only did you lose to the Native Americans from Siberia, you turned around and lost to white men. Which is also how I got here, because I am also native, I'm also black, I'm also white. So how did y'all lose twice? I want to know. Afrocentrics, it's an open corner. How did you fucking lose twice? Because y'all aboriginals. How'd y'all lose twice? How the fuck did you lose to people who don't know the land? Because you've been here for years and years and you don't know the land, you don't know how to hide, you don't know how to strike. Funny how the Native Americans from Siberia knew how to harvest the land, hide in trees, scout the motherfucking area, because they did have scouts. But y'all didn't have scouts? So my black ancestors that are supposedly Native Americans, y'all didn't have scouts. Y'all didn't scout out the white man before they dropped anchor. Y'all didn't do any of that shit, right? But somehow y'all managed to wind up mistaken and put in the slave chains. I smell a rat. Smells like Afrocentrics. So, y'all lost twice. I understand that shit. Understand, I'm not picking. I'm making a fucking point right here. You lost to the Native Americans that you say are not Native Americans, but are yet from Siberia. Yet you could not defend from them and turn around and lose to the white man who came over with smallpox that definitely affected the Native Americans from Siberia, as you call them. But they fucked y'all up too. But that really doesn't count because y'all were wiped out by the natives from Siberia. That's so you gotta help me out with the diaspora here, because if that's the case, not only did you lose big time, you lost greatly. And you lost by the thousands and thousands because of the fucking fact that the transatlantic slave trade went in reverse and that all the Africans are actually Americans. All of them. All 7 million of them motherfuckers belong over here. Somehow I don't think that's how that works, because technically just America alone can't fit into Africa. So you want to tell me how the Sam fuck Blue Psalm Simity did y'all lose twice? I'm going to let y'all sit on that. Tell me how you lost twice, because the slave trade worked in reverse. Oh, my bad. I'm fucking up. I am fucking up big time. That would mean you lost 3 times. Like back to back to back to back. Your first loss would be handed to you by Native Americans with bows and spears and arrows and tomahawks, which y'all don't mention in y'all videos. Y'all probably ain't never seen a fucking tomahawk. It's not a fucking axe, but it has the same purpose. Then you got taken away by colonizers who fucked up Native Americans with smallpox, which means they fucked y'all up. But they threw y'all on the boat versus the other natives who look more like me. And then they turned around and issued gunpowder and chains and whips. So you guys lost 3 times. Which means I'm a 3-time loser too, but I'm 3 races, so I can not be Aboriginal today. But I don't have a problem admitting that it's highly likely that I am the descendant of a slave. That I'm probably the descendant of an indentured servant, because I have white in me too. And I also have native. Now, since I have 3 races, I don't have the right to be racist, but I do have the right to ask questions on how the fuck did y'all lose twice? Excuse me, I fucked up. Excuse me. How'd y'all lose 3 times? Because you claimed the transatlantic slave trade worked in reverse. So, how did you lose a fight in all this land 3 motherfucking times? You became slaves? You got your asses kicked by natives that have Sasquatch as their partner in crime. So I guess Sasquatch and them kind of came up out the mountains and started doing that. Oh, yeah. While we're on that, because Eminem and BFR don't have any stories about Native American legends. No stories about Coyote. No story about the Deer Woman. No story about the Man with Hooves. No story about Bigfoot. None of these stories are on their TikToks. But they're dancing in feathers. No. So again, I ask respectfully, how did you lose 3 times? My name is Echo Fang Grey Wolf, aka James William Sr. This has been 14 minutes of your life that you can't get back. But if you're an Afrocentric, y'all lost 3 times. Because you're claiming to be native, but you lost 3 times. And not just the smallpox or the Trail of Tears, but y'all lost big time because half the fucking population that was you went to Africa in chains. Make it make sense. Be seeing you.